We are talking about mummies, building the perfect tomb, and ethics in archaeology. Welcome to Won't You Be My Gamer? I'm Elise Willems.
I'm Nicole Zavalich.
And Annalise Bayer is back joining us one more time to talk about archaeology and to raid some tombs with us again.
Virtually.
Virtually, not professionally, ever.
That's the ethics we're going to talk about.
That's what we're talking about, ethics.
Nicole, what are we playing?
We're going back to Tomb Raider. We're going to check out Tomb Raider 6 and Tomb Raider 5.
Because we beat Tomb Raider 4 during the break.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't worry about it. This is the 6th Tomb Raider. This is 2003. Oof. You know?
We'll be going back to designing the perfect tomb as we
Perfect
play.
tomb, yeah.
Right now we just have the word curse and then a vase with a gun in it. So we're going to see if we can improve upon
And those are
that.
things that we learned in Tomb Raider 4 when we successfully beat it. And hopefully we'll learn more from this game to see how we can build the perfect tomb.
So we're in Paris right now, Nicole?
So this is 2 days prior to that. It looked like there had been some sort of crime committed at this museum-type place. And now we are on Parisian Street.
Is this Laura's apartment?
I think we just broke into a random place.
Okay, I was
Because
about
I
to
think
say,
she
like,
could do better.
Yeah, if this was her apartment,
ooh, the life of an archaeologist.
I mean,
Annalise,
Yeah, you tell us.
listen, the wages aren't great, but it's not this bad.
Okay.
Like, we have beds.
Speaking of the life of an archaeologist, you've talked about like going out and going both on like professional digs and excavations, and then also just doing your own tourism.
Yeah.
How can people like follow in your footsteps and do that?
When people always ask me how to be an archaeologist, I always say go grab a couple degrees. Education.
A couple.
Just a couple. And then from there, you can potentially find a job either in the academic world, or you can be a professional archaeologist working out in the world, usually with an environmental firm or cultural resource management firm if you're in the U.S. There are opportunities all over the world, depending on what you do.
Let's double check our inventory. It does look like I have part of a
that.
And some coins.
and some coins.
Some loose doubloons.
Yeah, so neither of those aged well. Like fax machine and physical money, not very now.
So we were talking earlier about anything being an artifact. A fax. That would be an artifact now from a bygone era of communication.
Egyptians used papyrus as paper?
Yes, they did.
And so was papyrus like that was one of their kind of multi-materials? Like we use it for everything.
Yeah, and super versatile, super durable, especially when you go through the process of turning it into paper. It's very, very durable. And unless you get it like soaking wet, it can hang around for thousands of years. And that's why we have so many pieces of papyrus and different writing from different periods of Egyptian history in museums all around the world.
And James Cameron turned it into a font.
Exactly.
Thank you, James Cameron.
Wow, this is not what I thought this game was going to be. I thought they'll start us out with some big temple sequence at the beginning. You know?
No, some Parisian.
No, we're
It's cat burglaring in Paris.
I don't know. Would anyone else like to push buttons?
give it a try, I guess.
You have a degree. This should help you.
You climbed up into that box seamlessly.
Oh,
Yeah, there we
hey.
go. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Hey, look at that.
So what year of college did you learn to do that?
Wow.
Walk up
We
to
be
the
jumping.
railings and
I'm
diagonal.
pushing forward.
Press your body against
Yeah.
the drain.
And eventually she'll get the hint that we want to climb the drain pipe.
I'm going to draw a tiny Paris apartment.
Yeah. So in our
A lock.
tomb.
I think that dresser, we can't get into it because it has a lock.
Yeah.
Therefore,
We gotta shimmy around this roof.
our tomb should have a lock.
Oh, a lock? Yeah, I can add a lock
Thank
here.
you.
Made it.
A lock
No
right
time
at the
to
front.
waste.
You mentioned that there were some really cool places across Europe that you
Yeah.
love to look. Are there places in America that you have found that archaeology is fun and rewarding?
Yeah, absolutely. The southwest of the U.S. Has some fantastic sites because folks down there, like the Hopi, for example, they built beautiful, beautiful cities and structures. Highly recommend seeing those. If you go a little bit further east, anywhere along the Mississippi, you're going to find mound building cultures, so mound cities.
Has
To
there
make me
been a
let go,
project that you've gone
press
out on
action
and
again,
that you've been trying
or
to
push
come back
forward to
with a
climb
certain
back up?
type of information or evidence or conclusion from?
Usually we try to let the archaeology guide us. Like we'll always go into a project with a research question in mind. That's going to be sort of like the thing that guides what we're doing, but that can change based on, what we end up finding that's actually in the ground, and we tend to let that guide us. And okay.
I think we should try Tomb Raider 5.
Guys,
Personally.
I felt so good about myself going into this.
I think we.
I just picked up the crowbar.
I think we abandoned. We have the whole collection, right?
Yeah, we do.
Abandoned 6, and we go back to 5. See if Laura's back to her roots, actually in tombs.
In a tomb.
All right, we got to give it a go.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Now we're playing Tomb Raider Chronicles.
Okay.
We're just speed running, not all the Tomb Raider games.
Tomb Raider 5.
Taking bets now. Will we actually be in a tomb?
It looks like we're at Croft Manor maybe now.
Is this a statue of us? Oh no, we died.
What?
I'm sorry, if that's the statue that someone has made of you.
Our statue game now is so weak.
It is.
I just want to talk about that a little.
Yeah.
It's so weak.
It's gone so downhill.
And also, like, I've seen you talk about how colorful
Yeah.
artifacts are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the ancient world was intensely colorful. It was very bright, very colorful. A lot of people don't realize that because what they're seeing is whatever that building or statue is, thousands of years after the fact, the paint has come off.
yeah, it's worn off.
Yeah, the paint is worn off.
Like all those statues that you go look at in Greece,
Yeah.
they used to be colorful.
Yeah,
but-
most of them would have been painted.
Yeah.
And whenever I make videos about that on TikTok, I mean, people are up in arms. It's amusing, but it's also very frustrating because I really just wonder, is like, why is this such a hard thing to imagine? And, people have like very strong reactions to seeing reconstructions of how, ancient city streets or statues may have looked with paint and color. It's wild how strong of a reaction people have to that.
I have to wonder too if it influences our perception of like what a statue should look like now.
Yeah.
That we're not painting it or we're not doing anything ornate to it because we've have this notion that that's not.
Yeah.
the
Oh no,
statue
it's
is.
absolutely influenced things because for a very long time now, the ideal has been like a white marble statue, and a lot of that. Oh, there is a dog in that alleyway. Oh my God, what is happening?
There's a dog next to that JPEG.
Yeah, can you hide the tent?
No one looked. No one looked.
No, no.
Oh my goodness. Even he's like, I think this is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
I really have to wonder why it's always like dogs attacking
Yeah.
in these games. What's going on here?
It's like Resident Evil. They love the dogs.
Yeah.
I was just gonna. Question from Adam Helms. So, what are your thoughts on pop culture archaeologists like Indiana Jones or Lara Croft? Do you feel like they are realistic beside the gunplay and acrobatics?
Definitely not realistic at all. I mean, at least Indiana Jones kind of goes places in real life, kind of. I don't know.
Except where there's
Except where there's snakes. Well, the snakes are there. He's just not happy that they're there.
Yeah.
They sort of play into the tropes of archaeology being, very sort of pulpy and adventure-y, and yeah, we're constantly adventuring and dodging, dangerous things in pursuit of rescuing an artifact from somewhere for some reason because it's valuable. The movies were fun, except for Crystal Skull. We don't talk about Crystal Skull. But the movies were fun, and they really served as an entry point for so many people into the world of archaeology and ancient history, and that's what inspired a lot of people to go to school to study archaeology. So stuff like that, it's important in that regard. It's a great movie. I love Indiana Jones, but at the end of the day, Henry Jones Jr. is a horrible archaeologist.
What are some of the books, movies, video games, anything that inspired your interest and passion in the ancient world and all these subjects?
Mostly books. I mean, I got started with books, pretty illustrated books on Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology. That was my entry point. Saw Indiana Jones at some point, and then because it was the 90s, we were blessed with some fine cinema in the form of Stargate, and then 1999 brought us The Mummy, and that brings us to about today.
Stand next to it.
Where are we?
I couldn't tell you. All of the green makes me think that we're in some sort of like nuclear plant.
modern tomb.
Toxic.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's a question for you.
Corrosive damage.
Annalise,
Yeah.
because like we're talking about tombs in the sense of and Egyptian pharaoh that had a very well designed
Right.
container. So like the kind of just like colloquial use of like, oh, this person died here and that's their tomb. Like does a tomb become just a place where someone's died, or does it have to be there's an intention to bury this person here?
That's a great question. I feel like it can be both considering the context. Sometimes it can be used, I don't know, sort of like in a poetic sense. They were in a boat that sank, and that became
their
that
tomb.
became
A
their
watery
tomb.
tomb.
Exactly, something like that. It's like, okay,
Speaking of a watery tomb.
Oh, wow,
know.
timing.
water,
We're the
our
gators.
nemesis. I was expecting it to be radioactive.
Yeah, should we put some like water in our tomb?
Yeah,
Like,
there's
just,
be
like
a water feature. Let's
We've
put a
seen
water
it
feature
enough
in the
times.
Yeah, we're missing at least one water feature.
Maybe a little fountain
Yeah.
in the middle, just for fun.
If it's just like a person in the ground with some things, then that's kind of just
There's lots of tombs.
Yeah, that's just
around the
dirt.
world.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
that's a burial.
Yeah.
Whereas a tomb would be like in a purpose-built, constructed space, either above ground or below ground, or half and half, for burial.
Do you think the cool parts of history have already been discovered?
There is so much out there that has not been located, properly excavated, properly documented. I mean, as far as like ancient history is concerned, like there is still so much out there.
Yeah, we're guesstimating for a lot of stuff.
For Laura's adventures, or just in general?
Oh, for Laura's Adventures,
Total
guesstimate is even a generous.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing it.
Little swimmy adventure.
For me, it's like this is archaeology 101. I thought.
Right. I mean, I can't do that. I
can't do it in a video game, as you guys have seen.
I mean,
You're doing great, Nicole.
I do feel like that.
Don't talk.
no. You
It's
can do
too
it.
long.
You can do it. Laura, we believe. We believe.
Come on.
Train for this.
I would make different choices.
Yay, you did
Oh
it.
my god. Oh my
That
god.
was so stressful.
So stressful.
Okay, things we don't want in a tomb: slack lines. No,
Yeah.
no slack lines. No weird like rope things. Because
Draw the rope down here.
yeah, no ropes. Because ropes will degrade,
Big X
and then
through
if
it.
you have them holding something, it's going to break, and it's going to be a whole thing.
Talking about the logistics of a tomb.
Yeah.
So, some of these tombs that were really intently hidden, did they have a door that was obvious? Like, here's the front door to the tomb.
I mean, there would have been a front door, but then that would be hidden.
Okay.
And then, yeah, the idea is like the only person who would be going in there would be the spirit of the person who is already inside.
And could those spirits go through walls, or would they need to use the tunnels and doors?
There would be false doors,
Okay.
which like a 3D person couldn't go through, but a spirit person could just breeze right on through.
What kind of things was someone buried with? Was it the equivalent of like, if I was buried now, I would be, buried with my favorite like childhood teddy bear?
Oh no,
sorta,
everything. Clothes, shoes, makeup, board games, food,
Yeah.
wine, perfumes, furniture, a chariot in case you need one.
Okay.
Just like literally everything. If you had a favorite pet who had perhaps like predeceased you, that pet would then be mummified so that they could come with you into the afterlife. And you could have your favorite pets with you in the afterlife.
Nicole, would you want Minerva coming with you?
No. That's my cat.
She could do her own cat thing.
Yeah, she doing cat thing. She
Yeah.
go to cat heaven. Tell me more about Egyptians and cats.
They really liked cats. They really liked them. I mean, cats were in the image of the goddess Bast, who was usually depicted with a cat head.
That's who when we played Pharaoh, that's who I opened a temple for
Yeah.
and put shrines up for.
Yeah. Yeah. So, cats were cute. Also, like, humans like pets.
Yeah.
Humans have liked to have pets
For a long time.
for a very long time, and so people were very into their pets. They had cats and dogs as their pets. Wealthier people sometimes had other pets like baboons, or baboons could be trained to do things like, pick fruit or be security for your home.
Okay.
And then there is evidence of some pharaohs having pet lions, all sorts of pet options.
You know, I just don't know what I'm doing in this game, and I thought you guys should know.
That's okay.
I
That's
have a
okay.
feeling.
I'm really not sure where she's going and why she's going
There's
there.
a definite puzzle here.
Yeah.
So Egyptians, they didn't really have a lot of protections when they were building the temples. Like, what was life like? What was a workday life? Did they work like just sun up, sun down?
I mean, they would have full work days.
Yeah.
But you know, there were construction accidents. That definitely happened. We know for that was a good jump.
Great jump.
Good job.
It was a perfect jump.
good
That
jump.
wasn't you. That was the game.
Yeah.
That was a perfect jump.
Yeah, that was a good
10
jump.
out of 10.
No, we know from the workers' village that was built for the people who would be building the pyramids in Giza. They had doctors because people would get injured. So there was, you know, medical care available.
I hit a wall that time. You guys, this is the hardest game they've ever made.
What's with these physics?
I bet Annalise can make that jump. I know you can, but you're too close to the project
I know
now.
I can't. What if you don't want to become an archaeologist, but it's just a passion of yours?
Then you can read as many things as you like. You can watch as many things as you like. If you'd like to participate in a dig as an interested member of the public, there are usually volunteer opportunities available. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me
Yeah.
with this game? Oh my God.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, England
Volunteer
is a
opportunities?
great place for those sorts of things. We don't have as many of them available in the U.S. just because of the way certain sites and rules and archaeology works here, but I know there are more options on the East Coast than there are on the West Coast, for example.
Okay.
The elephant in the room we have to address. Would we have more mummies if we hadn't eaten them and used them for paint
Paint?
and other medicinal purposes?
Yeah, I mean, well, we'd certainly have a lot more people, for sure. Okay, we are here once again at the edge.
Ugh.
I
Cheese and
pressed
crackers.
A. Oh my God! Do you want to try it?
Is it? Sorry, yeah, eating mummies.
No, definitely. There would be more for sure.
Salty?
It would be. I don't know. I don't know what the flavor would be. I can tell you what they smell like, which is like a very nice sort of like warm, resiny smell, usually with a little bit of dust.
Okay, I wasn't imagining that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very warm and spicy because the resins that were used during the embalming process. It's actually quite a nice smell. I don't mind it.
Wow. So maybe like a candle scent.
Yeah, but you could probably make a candle scent out of it. It would.
Mummies.
It's really not that bad. Again, it's like, you know, this is also something that's like several thousand years old. All of the moisture has been removed. It has been created in such a way so that there would be no decay. And it's also like just covered in oils and things to make it smell nice. See what I mean?
I can't even
See what I mean?
get on this
See
ledge.
what I mean?
Okay.
Oh, are you kidding me right now?
Are we gonna see a rage quit? Won't you be my gamer?
Okay.
I really
jumped onto the ledge once again.
proud. I don't want to see any comments about how easy this is.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not. No,
Solidarity only.
Henry Cram says this does not look easy. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry.
No.
No.
Laura, why?
But you've shown you can do it.
It can be done.
It can be done. It can be done.
It can be done. Yes.
Everybody just take a minute here.
Credits roll.
Good night.
Swipe the sweat off your palm.
Yeah. It was just,
Okay.
Okay. Hatred for this camera angle. Burning hatred.
right.
It's so cinematic.
Burning hatred.
Flames all over my
Flames on the
face.
side of my face. Please, God, let me be over the platform.
Okay, everybody just. Can we save? Should we save?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Last little bit we have left.
Yeah.
Can we talk about ethics in archaeology?
Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely, we can.
Because, you know, in a history of colonialism, imperialism, going into someone else's space, land, resting place,
yeah.
I'm sure there's a long history of ethics not being observed, but then also measures to try to maybe instill those. So, like, what is kind of your perspective? And
I'm very glad to be existing in the 21st century where people are conscious of the way things have been done in the past, the mistakes that were made in the past, and how we should definitely not do that. And that it's a good idea to consider that the people that you are studying, perhaps the land in which you are doing this study, is home to people who are humans, who have value, and are worth speaking to about the history of their own people in their own place.
Bold.
And wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here,
Wild
let me take on the
Yeah.
corner while you continue to
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
us.
That's a crawl space in there.
Oh, great.
I watched one of your videos where I don't remember exactly who you were speaking about, but there was a skull that had been unearthed, and you know, you had an image behind you, and the way that you had it framed, the skull was behind you, and you said,
Right.
I'm not going to show it. It's a person's skull.
Right, this is a person.
And but if you know, somewhere else is showing that. You know.
Yeah, human remains have been used as oddities and as clickbait forever. You know, even before clickbait existed.
I get really upset driving through the desert, and there's this one stop where it's like our alien, and it's like that is a corpse of an indigenous person.
Yes,
that you
absolutely.
have there.
And that many indigenous peoples have certain protocols about human remains and, you know, viewing the remains of the deceased. And so to be mindful of all that, and also because, like, you know, even myself, like, I don't need to be seeing dead folks at 8 in the morning. I've just woken up, like, before I've even had my coffee. Like, are you kidding
Am
me?
I Haley Joel Osment?
Yeah, just like, come on
Seeing
now.
dead people. where I am? That's a
yeah.
sixth sense. I don't know if our audience is M. Night Shyamalan's, but
When making videos about human remains on TikTok, I try not to show those remains because I don't want it to be used as, you know, something that's sensational. Because at the end of the day, we're still just talking about a person.
yeah,
So, just respecting people. It's literally that simple.
yeah.
If only.
If only, like, I mean, yeah.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah, completely.
Then when I think about myself, I'm like, yeah, just do whatever. Do
Right.
it. When I die, just, you know, throw me in a ditch.
Yeah, I was like, whatever.
You know, Nicole, I think you've done your best with this game. We've certainly learned a lot with Annalise. I think we
Yeah.
can call it here.
Yeah. I learned a lot about archaeology, but I also learned a lot about my own limits.
Yeah, and the limits of Lara's jumping.
And
Yes.
early 2000s technology.
Yeah. A lot of limitations.
Thank you so much for joining us, Annalise. How can people go find your work, and especially go like travel the world with you to look at sites and tours?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Annalise the Archaeologist. I've got videos all the time. And yeah, you can find me in the real world leading trips with Trovatrip to places like Egypt and Turkey and soon Iceland.
That's so cool. So people just like
Amazing.
they sign up and then they can.
Come hang out with me.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again. And thank you so much to everyone for watching the live stream and supporting us here. Nicole, how can viewers like all of them continue to help us make this show?
By visiting pbssocal.org/gamer and making a donation. No amount is too small, no amount is too big, but we really, really appreciate any help we can get. We make this show for you because of you, and we so appreciate you. So find us on Instagram, find us on TikTok, find us on YouTube, and we'll keep making this because we love to.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I need to go pet some dogs.
Yes.
Yeah.
After everything that's happened.
Some dog crimes have happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go do that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
Bye.
Bye.